Okay, welcome, Vintage Gamers, to Wednesday night. Well, now it's Thursday night. I had a problem with my computer where what we diagnosed was my Ethernet port on my motherboard broke. But we just bought a, $15 PCI Express card, got a new Ethernet port on there, and we're back in business. So I missed yesterday's stream, but tonight we're gonna try to maybe stream 1 or 2 leagues. And this list actually got a nice 5-0 recently. If you play a lot of Magic Online Vintage, you'll actually probably recognize this list. This is KFC Chicken's Oath list that they've played for years. Ever since I first started playing MTG Vintage on Magic Online, KFC has always played very unique Oath decks. Sometimes they play like Emrakul with the Dragon's Breath. Is it Dragon's Breath? What's the one that comes out of the yard and gives it haste? Can't remember. I believe the Boomers called it Golden Gun Oath, but couldn't tell you. And recently, a sweet 5-0 list was published from them featuring 4 Swan Song, 4 Repeal in what they've been doing recently is an Arkham's Astrolabe Oath list. They like to play a bunch of Field of Ruin, which is going to get you basics. Also gives your Oath deck access to Bizarre removal, which is very nice. And they always choose to run no Forbidden Orchards, which is very, very interesting. So you have to make up for the fact that you don't have Forbidden Orchard spirits. And to do that, in this case, they're running 4 Swan Song, which is going to give your opponents bird tokens. And they're also running 4 Oko, which you can turn Moxen into creatures. Also, there's just a lot of creatures running around right now. So Forbidden Orchard may be less important. They have played a lot of cards in this kind of this slot. I know they've played, what's the green command called? I think it's called Verdant Command. I've seen a list where they played 4 Verdant Command, which gives your opponent squirrels. So that's a really cool idea too. But there's also some other things I really like. The fact that you don't have any orchard tokens means that your Narset's much better in this list. Repeal can help cover for stray birds that you don't want to deal with. Also, just really, really strong into the construct meta that we're currently experiencing. Right now, Breach, and very specifically Tinker Saga Breach, is one of the biggest players in the metagame, so I think I like the idea of multiple repeals. And then always, if you're if you're playing an Emrakul, you get to play Channel, which is a really fun restricted card that doesn't get to see very much play anymore. So we're playing Channel Emrakul. Our 2 targets are Hullbreaker Horror, not Hullbreacher, and Emrakul off of our Oath. I really think that's a cool, nice addition to this deck. Hullbreaker Horror combos really well with a full set of Moxen, things like Arkham's Astrolabe, just looping through with Moxen, make infinite mana, that kind of thing. Hullbreaker Horror, you could theoretically do the Moxen loop, make infinite mana, and maybe hard cast the Emrakul that's stuck in your hand. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with that. And then obviously you have access to, this is another channel target with Karn. Karn Lattice is another thing you can do with channel besides just Emrakul. I did make a few changes to their 5-0 list. They had some endurances in their sideboard, which I don't really buy the idea of oathing into endurance. I don't really like that very much. So I swapped those out for Ravenous Traps. I swapped out Mindbreak Traps for Mystical Dispute. Been interested in trying more disputes out recently, so I just swapped those. And then the rest is the same, except I moved the Mana Crypt into the main. The Mana Crypt was in the sideboard, and I don't really know why. I couldn't really figure out when you would want to be boarding in Mana Crypt or boarding out Mana Crypt. Maybe in fair matchups, you would board Mana Crypt out. I've never really seen Mana Crypt boarded in. I would rather have it in my main and then board it out if it was bad. You're right. I currently have a 14-card sideboard because I took the Mana Crypt out. So let's add a... let's just add a Nature's Claim for now. I think we're a little light. Though we do have 4 basics is kind of nice. Let's just add a Nature's Claim. That seems pretty reasonable. Yep, so basically Karn is just here as a win condition. I don't think you really need things in your Karn board. I've never really thought that was the case. It does maybe make your Karn better in certain situations. I could put, actually, you know what? I'm not really a huge fan of Ravenous Trap. Let's make a Karn board instead. Let's do 1 crypt, 1 needle, 1 Tormod's Crypt, 1 needle, and a Soul Guide Lantern. Let's do that. That way our Karn actually becomes a main board graveyard hate card. And that way Soul Guide Lantern also doubles as a cantrip, and yeah, I think I like that even better. So let's do that. That seems totally reasonable. So yeah, I'm excited to play this deck. It looks like fun. I love playing 4 Swan Song, 4 Repeal. I wish Swan Song could hit artifacts. I think it would be really, really strong if that was the case, but it can't. So let's get right into this league. If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1. We have a PO pilot across the table. Our hand contains Ancestral Recall, so I'm going to keep it. Yo, how's it going? Hope you're having a good one. Island. Oh, that is a lot of Moxen. Oh no. We got a Merfolk opponent. Okay. My opponent will probably regret playing the Tide. Well, it's hard for Merfolk to combat Oath of Druids. Oath of Druids is quite good against our opponent's deck. Let's take a quick peek at what they're working with. I have to reset all of my sizes here because Magic Online, everyone has to reinstall Magic Online with the new server. So they have Force of Will, they have Wasteland, and they have a Thieving Skydiver. So I am just going to go... let's just go with Island Ancestral on their upkeep, and then we'll just Oath them next turn. It'll be easy. So I do like, I guess, I do think that the Merfolk deck is very playable, but the Merfolk deck that Not Me built is really tuned to beat Saga decks. It's not really tuned to beat any other deck. It's very good at beating Saga deck. 4 Tideshaper, plus 4... What just happened? Did it auto size things? I don't want it to... It's not on auto size. 4 Tideshaper, 4 Thieving Skydiver is quite good against Saga. Do the sizes look normal, chat? The card sizes? I'm trying to get back to all my old settings. I saved a lot of them, but I didn't save some of them. So I want to get this basic forest and slam an Oath. And now we get either a Hullbreaker Horror or a Emrakul, and both of those should just instantly win. They look slightly smaller. So the thing is, I don't have auto size cards on, and I have it. Oh my. Oh, it doesn't get any larger than that. So. But it's weird when they attack, didn't it shrink? Why is it shrinking now? Has that always done that? I think I'm just gonna put auto size cards on. Maybe auto size is what I normally have on. I don't know. All right, so 50-50 between Hullbreaker Horror and Emrakul. Both of those, I guess, are super winning. Oh, what I didn't realize is that this deck doesn't have a Gaia's Blessing. That's pretty interesting. I don't know why it doesn't have a Gaia's Blessing, but... I don't think I want to risk my Hullbreaker Horror being one of the last cards here. Emrakul is a big Gaia's Blessing. That's not really how that works for us. That's surprising, actually. Unless I'm missing... What is happening with these card sizes? Ah! Okay, this needs to be... much larger. Not that much larger. And then this can be bigger. Classic Magic Online. To be fair, we uninstalled and reinstalled. So Mystical Dispute looks quite good. And then that's basically it. What else do we want? We don't have to worry at all. Like, this is a matchup where we're really happy not to see Forbidden Orchard, right? Because my opponent's going to always give us creatures. We don't need Orchard at all, and we'd much rather have things that are Wasteland proof. Veil? I don't know if we need a Veil. Like, we're going to probably still play Swan Song, which is going to cover us. I would think it's not necessary. I'm not sure what we're allowed to cut. We probably don't need Mental Misstep. Well, there's an Ancestral deck and a Tide Shaper. Like, you don't care about Tide Shaper, right? We probably don't even need Mental Misstep here. Can't imagine that does very much for us. I also think maybe we won't play Narset as our opponent's gonna have a bunch of creatures. We'll try this maybe. Seems reasonable. We could want Veil, but I mean, all of our cards are pretty good here. And Swan Song basically is a Veil that pitches to Force. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this. I don't think my list had any Dismembers, but I don't really care too much about Dismember. The bad part about trying to play a hand like this is that they are a Cavern of Souls deck. No Vial. I think we're just going to mulligan this hand. We're like, definitely would rather see Oko and Oath. Probably just put back a basic, because we're going to have the ability to Field of Ruin off of Ruby. Field of Ruin not great against our opponent's deck that has like 8 or 9 islands, but I think I would like to keep Oko in case. Yeah, there's a Cavern. I don't think I'm supposed to force this. I definitely could have because my opponent sequenced in this order, but I would rather try to protect something that I'm casting. Okay. We are going to be a little far off from killing off this Cavern and unlocking. Yeah, well, I didn't really need another. I don't want to play out this Ruby because my Ruby would be exposed to a Skydiver. Maybe I was supposed to just put the Field of Ruin at the bottom and then I don't know. I like getting rid of this Cavern. It's not bad. Don't think I want to. Interesting. So they have a Hull Breacher. It looks like that's the only way this line makes sense from them. We're just gonna be so far behind though. A little worried. I'm gonna not kill this right now, just because. Oh, they have a Hex Catcher. Would I counter a Hull Breacher? Well, this thing is gonna be kind of annoying, isn't it? Interesting. I'm trying to figure out when. No matter what. So if they have like a Hull Breacher, then. All right. I think I'll do it now. If they have 2 Hex Catchers, so be it. We know they have a Silver Gill. We know they have a Skydiver, which I do probably want to counter. Oh wait, I didn't get my I didn't get my forest. God damn it. I just saw island and instinctively clicked island. Restore default size? What do you mean? This is not what I want. I don't want this. Oh, you broke everything for me. You ruined everything. I have to fix everything. Oh no. Hold on. I gotta get everything back. What have they done? I want this to be as big as possible. And then I want this to be the same as this. I should not have listened. Chat has led me astray. Okay. I think you want your hand size to be as big as possible. I would assume. Oh boy. All right, so I am pretty screwed because I didn't get the forest. I guess we'll brainstorm next turn. I have to counter this. I guess they could sack some stuff, but it's fine. I don't think I need a negation. If they want to force back, that's okay with me. Okay, they are going to force back. That's so weird, isn't it? Maybe it's not. All right, so we're going to lose our ruby. Thank you, I appreciate that. All right, they only have one card left, and Oath is still really good. They'll have to sacrifice some number of creature. Well, I guess we can't play an Oath. Oh, all right, well, never mind. Oh, wait, I can't. There's no non-basic lands, so I can't Field of Ruin. Okay, we have a problem. Oh my. So if I go Black Lotus, they can sack 2 Merfolk to counter it, or well, they don't need to counter it because I don't have The problem is if I make an Oko, they just kill Oko. No, they don't have to sack the board. They just kill it because we can't even make a 3/3 at all. We just don't have an artifact. We might have to jam an Oko just so that we can. Maybe we just wait a turn. If we wait a turn and draw the Beseiju, play the Beseiju, and then we have enough for 2. This thing flies. I can turn this into... Man, none of this is good, though. What is that? Oh, no, animations are back on. Get rid of that. I don't want animations on. Like, if I just make a food here, is that really... That's not even helping me. I don't think we can win this game. Don't know how we would win this game. I guess this just buys us 1,000,000 life, right? Because we're going to have to crack away. So this buys us 6 life, and then we draw Oath off the top, and then they counter it. But yeah, I mean, this might work. I think I have to crack and just hope to draw Oath. Yeah. Yeah, all right. I mean, it gained us 1,000,000 life, so small victories. They still could have follow-ups as well. They have a Silver Guild. Oh no, they had a Skydiver. Okay. All right, I'm gonna fetch. Guess I'll get the basic forest so that we don't get wastelanded. Okay, that's not even that bad actually. Aggro shops. Aggro shops is technically the only deck that has a winning matchup versus breach in the data right now. Though prison shop seems to be doing better in the metagame. I think it's playable. I think it's like not a great deck, and just maybe not even a good deck. Maybe it's just a playable deck. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't even think that Aggro Shops does have a good matchup against Breach, but like that is what the only deck right now that has a good matchup versus it in the data. So I don't know. I'm not really super in tune with the Hogaak decks. My opponent is thinking about countering this Oko with their Merfolk, it looks like. I don't think they need to do that. Oh, they are going to do it, though. All right, I mean, we bought ourselves a ton of time. All right, Hex Catcher. Watsy says no. Oh, they have a Hull Breacher. Oh, 5 mana Silvergill Adept. I liked the Hex Drinker variant. And I think Prison Shops looks good right now as well. I've been telling people to play Prison Shops. 4, 7, 8. Wow. I mean, this works out quite well for us. They could sack one of their creatures. No. I don't think that the problem is I don't think Emrakul or Hullbreaker Horror win this game for us. That's the big problem. I think they both lose because our threats are just bad. That is definitely the problem with playing B-rate oath targets. I mean, a Grizzlebrand would be good. We kind of need to draw exactly Time Walk. Feel like it's very unlikely. Whatever we want to do is good. I'm surprised. This game almost worked out. We were pretty far behind. I don't know if my fetch actually cost us, or the Field of Ruin getting the wrong land cost us in the end. We would have played an Oko earlier. No, would we played the Oko the same turn, right? Or did we take? Oh, they have drew another Silvergill. Okay. Unfortunately, this is like too many creatures that they can sack. I have no idea. That sounds like a popper deck, doesn't it? All right. Time Walk? No. All right, we die. Yeah, I mean, Sarah's Emissary would be pretty good here. The list we copy doesn't have a Sarah's Emissary. So I actually think this negation's garbage. Let's play a Veil instead of the negation. I forgot to take that one out. But I do have an Oath build that I'm looking at. Why is this so low? Oh, here we go. That might be, maybe I'll play that Saturday. I guess this is a keep. It's a channel Oath deck. So this is a little bit of a weird hand. Well, this is like I said, this is not my list. It's someone else's list. I think we'll just go get a Soul Guide Lantern so we can try to get this Oath out. The good news is they don't get to play any fast mana, and Merfolk without the fast mana, well, I guess they could just counter this. What am I talking about? But if this does resolve, it means they don't get to play fast mana. Oh, so they do have force. Okay. I'm just like, I mean, we have Oath of Druids with Swan Song backup if we can draw a fetch. So. So they did have fast mana. Hope we don't lose to our mana crypt. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the basic island problem. Not the basic island problem. Ugh. So now they have Hull Breacher. Oh, this is a nice one. All right, so we can actually... Field of the Ruin will work now, too. Unless they decide to wasteland their Soaring Sky City, which I highly doubt. This does let them hard cast a... I guess we'll just go to the next phase. So they can't hard cast a force. I mean... So they have to beat us without... How are they going to... I don't know if my opponent's deck can really do this. We get to draw into Oko. So we have to draw an Oko before... we die to our mana crypt, basically. This is going to be a weird game of Magic. Maybe I'm not supposed to play the Oath until they play a creature. Because I have a stupid mana crypt in play. I should probably play my second Oath out. Don't know if that matters, but... I think they're just going to try to kill us with the mana crypt. But we've won a lot of flips so far, and we're cool. Well, if I counter my own spell with Swan Song, it means they get to trigger Oath of Druids, which I don't really think equates to us winning. Like, all we need to do is get an Oko in our lives, and then... Oh, wait a second. We have 4 repeals. I'm going to do this on their end step, though. And then if they counter it, we Swan Song them. Beautiful. Brilliant. Wait, this deck is so cool, though. Wow, sick. All right. We continue. No. I think I don't know what their plan is going to be, but we will eventually be able to win with an Oko, so Oko turning on their Moxen into an Elk. And if they ever counter one of our spells, we have Swan Songs, so. All right, yeah, all right, here we go. Now we're going places. This deck's sweet. All right, 1-0. Let's keep going. What do we have? We've got fast mana. Yeah, this looks fine. This is a little weak to Wasteland, which is so weird because we have one wastelandable land in our entire deck. Yeah, or I guess we have one dual land, but I still want to hold open Swan Song and Repeal though, so. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not bizarre. Hogaak attack. Okay. I think we're just gonna bounce this for tempo. Oh, Field of Ruin. Wait, this Field of Ruin is gas. I love it. So far, so good for the KFC deck. Got a basic in there? Didn't think so. No basic. No basic. I love it. I should not be F6ing in case they vigor me and I need to Swan Song it. I guess I don't need to. Yeah, it's just the creator of the deck. The Wasteland. All right, okay. So the little root wallet went back to the hand too, which is nice. So now we're just gonna play the Oko game. How does this opponent's deck ever beat the Oko game? Doesn't feel like they can. Thank you for playing, opponent. I probably should have tapped the Sapphire and left open the island. Small thing though. It doesn't matter much. Look at this army of Elks I have as well. Concede, baby. Just do it. You can't beat Field of Ruin. That card's too good. Library of Alexandria? Ooh, that's spicy. I didn't expect that. All right, okay. That's a plan. Oath is a little awkward here. Because it's not really the plan that we're gonna go for. I think we're just gonna not. I think we're not gonna play Oath, and we're just going to suit up and get in. If opponent like out creatures us, then we can just Oath and win. But well, opponent is on Hogaak, so not Dredge. I also don't think it's a particularly good library deck. I like library a little bit in Squee, but not sure about this one. I don't really think library works in that version. Strip mine, sure. Uh-oh. No, no, no. It's okay. I have Oko. Nothing matters. Oko is quite good against a creature deck with no Pyroblasts. Let's go get him. None of this library nonsense. Only Field of Ruins. Oh, didn't even attack with the Bloodghast. That can't block. Field of Ruin being a really sweet card right now. I am enjoying this. I'm surprised my opponent my deck only has one forest. Could probably get two forests in here. Maybe you don't need it. Don't touch my Sapphire. You may have a Swan. I'm having a good time, in case you can't tell. All right, so we're going to bring in Leyline of the Void, and we're going to bring in Crypt Needle Lantern. And then we're going to take out Negation. Dig Through Time. Some amount of these Swan songs, maybe all of the Swan songs. Repeal is not great, but we don't have a lot of choice in that matter. Oh, it depends on if we keep Karn in or not. I haven't decided that yet. I might not keep Karn. Don't really think Karn looks good here, to be honest. we're gonna try this. It's kind of weird. Not a great mapping, honestly. I don't really like Veil of Summer. I kind of wish it was any other card. Yeah, let's try this, I guess. Don't really know. I think I'll just leave the channel in. The mapping is really bad. I don't know what to say. What is going on with this? I want this to line. I know this can line up. How do I make it line up? Whatever. This has a ley line and an oath. Okay, I keep. The question is, do we jam this oath into vigor? That's the real question. Don't know. Why does it keep doing this? Probably have to. Oh, they have a riftstone and a powder. Okay, that's a lot of hollow ones. And now I don't have a choice. I kind of need this oath to go off. So close. I just don't think we're allowed to wait. I mean, if we wait and our opponent vigors us, we go to 12, we go to 4, we get... I mean, we might actually still just lose. Because it's what, Hullbreaker Horror or Emrakul? If our oath targets were better, yeah. If our oath targets were better, maybe... I mean, they're pausing like they have it, but... Nice Arkham's Astrolabe, turning our mana crypt into real mana. Love to see it. Unfortunately, this channel's not a blue card. Oh, wow, nice. We got through. So we can actually use this channel to bounce back our mana crypt with a Hullbreaker Horror. That could be good. I kind of wish we had the... All of the Oath decks that I build play 2 Serra Emissary in the sideboard, 3 Vengevines. Oh my gosh, this Leyline did God's work. I always play 2 Serra Emissary in all of my Oath sideboards, and I don't think that's any different here. I think I would still want Serra's Emissaries. I have an Emrakul. Tormod's Crypt. Yeah, I guess we could just... I kind of want to just bounce the Mana Crypt. I guess I could just bounce that. Oh, no, I don't have a Hullbreaker Horror, so none of this matters. What am I saying? All right, I guess I take 4 and then flip for a Hullbreaker Horror. And, I mean, they're already dead at this Emrakul, right? I'm just so used to flipping into the Hullbreaker Horror that I can't even get it through my brain. We could still lose this game with... I guess we don't get anything if we block. Because I'm going to block here, right? Because we could lose this Mana Crypt. So I have to block. I guess we could lose this game to Mana Crypt flips. Because we attack, they lose their board, and then we die to Mana Crypt. I guess they're going to get flip an Oath, too. Well, we have to block, or we could die to Mana Crypt, so we don't get the Hullbreaker Horror. So we could lose this game to just 2 Mana Crypt flips, right? Okay. Well, we're not going to lose to a Bloodghast. We do have a Tormod's Crypt. I guess we could lose into Oath Bloodghast. Oh, never mind. We have an Oko. Never mind. It's all free. Annihilate you. Oh, we don't even have to go food. We could even go, turn off the Mana Crypt. Yeah, because if we go food, we go to 8. If they hit Vengevine, their last Vengevine. Yeah, I guess we can just go food. Yeah, we can't lose here, so. Like, they can Oath flip into their 4th Vengevine, so we were at 4. So we can never die to our Mana Crypt in that case. We'd go to 1. And we can't get hit by Bloodghast because there's a Tormod's Crypt and they have no lands in play already. So I don't think I think as long if you eat food here, you can't lose, right? I can't think of a way you would lose. All right, 2-0. All right, here we go, round 3. I don't know what our opponent is trying nowadays, so we'll have to see. This hand has... I think I'm going to keep it. It's got some cantrips. It's got force. It has a Field of Ruin for a Bazaar. Though we do need to draw a Moxen to be able to Field of Ruin. It depends on like where the Astrolabe is in play, or it depends on which one is in play, right? We were just talking about with chat the different ways that Hullbreaker Horror combos with Moxens and Astrolabes and things like that. 2 Moxen is infinite mana. Then we were just saying which times a Moxen plus an Astrolabe is mana and draws, stuff like that. Okay, Urza's Saga. So if we can hit a Moxen, we can Field of Ruin that. Maybe this is just Breach. Don't really want to hit the Black Lotus. They could have Hullbreacher, not Breaker. That's the card I want to play around here. Oath. All right, I'm gonna hold. I'm not gonna jam the Oath yet. Let's see what they do. Yeah, but the Astrolabe gets picked up when you cast the Mox, so you won't have. It kind of depends on what's already in play. So if I start by repealing this Black Lotus, if my opponent cracks it and plays a Hull Breacher, we get to at least respond with Ancestral. But I guess they can have Fluster. If they don't crack it, if they have an Ancestral, or say if they have a Hull Breacher, they'll just crack it and play a Hull Breacher. If they have nothing, they'll just let it go back to their hand. But I'm just trying to force this. Like, I can't just play Ancestral, right? Into this. I can't just play Ancestral into that. Okay, well, now I'm just going to jam Ancestral because I can't get flustered. If this gets forced, it's fine. That's fine. So now if they have no follow-up. So now they can't even... Should I just let them make a construct? I guess it depends on what we see in their hand. I kind of want them to make a construct if they... Oh, interesting card. They used a force already, so what do they have left? They have Force, Brain Freeze, Tinker, Time Walk. What the heck? That's bad for me. Hi. Welcome back. Force. What can I even do about this? I think that's the only thing we can really do that will lend us any power here. Yeah, I think they'll have an island. Do I want to wait? Hmm. What does waiting get me? I don't think I want to wait. This at least stops them from tinkering us. I think we just have to pass. Don't think we have... Like, if we hit a land, we can play a Karn and get it countered. Unfortunately, they have if they hit a Moxen, they have Tinker Force backup. They didn't hit a land or a Moxen. I wonder... does repealing make sense here again? It will turn off hardcast negation. Or maybe I want to like save and repeal my Astrolabe. That might just be the best value. It's probably better to do that. Because there's no guarantee I hit. Hmm. I don't really know what I'm trying to get to here, though. Field of Ruin. Hmm. Like, I can play an Oath just in the blind. It's not terrible. Maybe that's just fine. If they want to negate it, that's okay. I can still just repeal my Astrolabe and replay Astrolabe. But it feels like having the repeal makes more sense. I don't really know. I'm not sure. It's just a very odd situation. We are super close to being dead to Breach here. Okay, so they pitched Brain Freeze, and they played Negation. That's great for us. I think that's super good for us. Because now this Oath, now this Karn has to be forced, and we can just force back. The fields have actually been great, but we've drawn a lot of Moxen, so... They did hit a land here, and they're going to Time Walk. The problem is, I really can't let them hit a Moxen, because they'll have Tinker with Force backup, theoretically. Whereas if I can get to my turn, I can play Karn with Force backup. But I can't really force this. I just have to hope they don't hit a Moxen. I mean, this field is going to kill Island or Saga without them getting anything if I want it to. I think I just have to let it roll. Well, I guess they have Hardcast Force if they want as well. I'm pretty sure I'm just jamming this. Looks super good on this battlefield. If they have Fluster, wow, okay, so they force pitch Tinker, so they have two unknowns. So they could have another force. That's fine. How close are we to casting this Hullbreaker Horror? Well, not really close. Is Repeal going to be more useful, though? I don't really think it will be necessary. I kind of want to keep my Hullbreaker as a way to win this game, possibly. Okay, so they do have Fluster after that. All right, they're down to one card. They no longer have brain freeze. They no longer have any forces. I mean, I don't hate where we're at, and we have field coming up. I don't know if we are supposed to hold this field for Saga, though, or if we want to hit this volcanic. That's an interesting question. One, two, three, four. Yeah, we're pretty far from this Hullbreaker Horror, but I think it's a more reliable way to progress through this game than keeping the repeal. Don't know what the repeal is really doing for me at this point. I guess it's drawing me 2 cards if I wanted to. But, like, I'd want to draw something. Yeah, the big question we're going to have to ask ourselves is, do we hold this field for Saga? Probably yes. Oh, they're going to crack and vamp? Is that lethal? If they get breaches, it's lethal. Doesn't look lethal. This is just going to get ancestral, right? Oh, they got breach. Maybe they see something I don't see. 3 to play Black Lotus. And I'm not seeing this. Does chat see this? They don't have enough cards in their yard, right? What does this do? I think this is bad. I think they miscalculated. Yeah, this is a miscalculation. Because now they vamp, and they can't draw the card that they vamp for. I mean, in the end, it just lost them a turn. But I am going to hit this volcanic. But they're probably going to get an ancestral, so maybe it doesn't matter. They don't have Tinker. They don't have Freeze. I don't know how many freezes they have in their deck. I mean, they have to just get ancestral off this. Probably it. Field is a force shuffle. Oh, wow. It is a force shuffle. You're right. Yeah, all right. Well, then they're about to get brutally murdered. Oh, wait. Hold on. If I astrolabe into channel, and no, it doesn't do it because I would need blue after. So if I Field of Ruin and then I have no. So if I astrolabe to channel off of, yeah, but I can't do anything after I play the Hullbreaker Horror, so I don't think that's actually good. If I go that way, like if I were to use this blue and this green, I would play a Hullbreaker Horror, but I wouldn't do anything. Whereas I think Field of Ruining them is better. So I just want to field them. All right, so now they're on blind top decks. they typed in chat, the search isn't a May. What a tragedy. Yeah, if we draw a mana source next turn, we can do a channel Hullbreaker Horror. But maybe I was supposed to hold the Astrolabe in that case. Okay, this gotta go infinite, right? This has gotta go infinite. Well, field is minus mana, so I don't think I had it last turn. Oh, but I can make mana and filter it with Astrolabe, maybe. So maybe I could have. Not 100% sure. Brainstorm. So like I can make a bunch of extra mana and do 2 Astrolabe filters so that when I play my Black Lotus and bounce it with the Astrolabe. So yeah, so here I can make 2 extra mana with my channel, turn it into snow mana. I think I was a snow mana short last turn, I agree. And then I can Black Lotus, bounce my Astrolabe. And then I can play and bounce my Astrolabe with my Ruby over and over again and draw my deck. That's really cool. That was game 1. I want to bring in Dispute and some Vigors, possibly. I don't exactly know how we're gonna do that. I don't really know how we are even gonna board here. None of these cards are bad, per se. Maybe we just cut. How do we board? I mean, we could trim, like, a Swan Song, a Repeal, a Channel, and a second Repeal. But it's really weird to bring this cards in. Like, Repeals are good against our opponent's deck. They're a construct. Well, we don't know how big they are into constructs. Swan Song looks good, too. Counters enchantments. Yeah, I don't know. I just think these Veils are bad. I don't really know why. I just really hate this card. I don't think it's very good. Well, against Mono Blue, they don't, like I said, I don't think it matters. I mean, like, I think Veil would be fine. I just don't see what it's better than. I don't really know. I kind of want to just cut the Veils from the sideboard because I don't really see a good reason to bring them in. Like, there's nothing that I really want Veil over. Like, I want all my Okos, all my Narsets, my counter spells. I'm not even convinced that these disputes are better than the Swan Songs. They counter Hull Breachers, but do I even care about Hull Breachers? I'm not even sure these disputes are better than the Swan Songs. So I'm gonna bring in 2 Vigors for Channel Repeal or something. I'm not really sure. I don't really know. Like, I've never seen KFC play, so I have no idea what they would trim to get these extra cards in. I guess to be fair, these disputes used to be Mindbreak Traps, and you wouldn't bring in Mindbreak Traps here. But if I'm not bringing in disputes here, then there's really nowhere I want to bring in disputes. So I think this sideboard is not very well configured, and that's probably my fault because I changed Mindbreak Trap for dispute. I would just like put more graveyard hate and more artifact hate. Yeah, but if you have 2 of the same targets and they don't win you the game, then you can't win the game. That's a problem. Oh boy. Yeah. This could definitely lose to an early Tinker. Yeah, I don't think Veil or Dispute are bad here. I just don't know what you would want to bring them in over, and I kind of would rather just not have them in my deck. It feels hard to cut things like Swan Song when I don't play a Forbidden Orchard and my opponent is not a heavy creature deck. So I kind of need to be able to have something that gives them a creature. Oath Force is the absolute best draw I could have drawn off this Astrolabe, which is nice. Like, the fact that I have no Forbidden Orchards means I have to use Oko or Swan Song to give them a creature to trigger my Oath. And maybe I don't care, but maybe I'm supposed to board out Oath. That could be true. Like, maybe I'm supposed to trim up some Oath of Druids. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Creature removal? No, I don't really think we want to remove creatures. That's kind of the point, right? I don't know what the best build is. This is just a build. I'm trying it, and so far I've been impressed with 0 orchards, but we've also played against 2 creature decks. So you don't really need orchards when you play against only creature decks. My opponent's deck right now is not a very heavy creature deck, so we probably need to resolve an Oko or a Swan Song to trigger an Oath of Druids. Why have my opponent in the tank? Don't you always mystical for Ancestral here? Unless, I guess if you have a Moxen, maybe you can mystical for Tinker, but they mysticaled for Force. Uh-oh. That seems like a bad sign for me. I can't imagine that's good for us. So I can Field of Ruin this Saga if I draw Moxen. Didn't draw a Moxen. In that case, let's just play another Astrolabe. I don't think playing an Oath makes sense here when it doesn't really progress our game, and we kind of need them to have something. Brainstorm. Okay. The nice thing is this Field of Ruin is going to answer their Saga, so they can't get Lotus off it. The Field of Ruins have been quite impressive. Very, very happy so far with them. Uh-oh, Mana Crypt. Does that mean we're getting Tinkered with Force backup, probably? Seeing as they mysticaled for Force. So I wonder about repealing Mana Crypt here. It seems kind of reasonable. Force them into a Saga action. But then I have to choose between Oathing and Fielding. I think that's still fine. Well, this deck is created with a bunch of basics, 5 basics, so it's very specifically trying to use the power of Field of Ruin in combination with Arkham's Astrolabe. All right, so they did go in on a Construct token, which means I'm free reign to play an Oath of Druids here. Though they do have a Force in their hand. They could also board in Cage. I think I'm gonna just field anyways. We got the Construct in play. I would rather they don't get Cage or Black Lotus. That feels kind of important to me. And then I'd like, maybe we do need to bring in Veil. Or just Swan Song. This technically represents a counterspell. Well, we've got a lot of stuff. But we know that they have Force, which is the biggest problem. But we got them to put a creature in play, so our Oath is turned on. We want to just draw our Swan Song, huh? This is just going to get another counterspell or maybe an Ancestral. So if they cast Ancestral, are we going to force it? No, probably not. There aren't really any Astrolabe decks in Vintage, so it's kind of fun to actually be able to play with it. Seiju. Okay. We'll see if it comes through the. You hit reheat. Oh, are you gonna do it with the oven? Just do the oven. Convection bake and switch the heat. It's the preheat and then. Yeah, put that in first. Force pitching what? Ponder. So they still have Ancestral? Whatever. Oh, they have Pyro at the end of this. Jeez. Yeah, sure. And you just hit the button again and then it starts it. All right, this looks bad for me. So they had Force with Pyroblast, and then they're going to untap an Ancestral. I don't think we can win this game. Opponent is just a little too far ahead on quality Magic the Gathering cards here. Well, I mean, we can technically not die to this Construct, but we're going to probably die to this Ancestral. We definitely had less restricted cards on our opponent in this game. Our deck has very few restricted cards in it, so that's probably part of the problem. Got a bunch of 4-ups, though. What do we want to do? What is our plan here? Yeah, I got no answer to that. I guess we are going to bring in Veil. I don't know what we're going to take out, but we're going to have to bring in something because we are so far behind. What are you doing? Let it preheat. No, you don't want it. If you let it heat up and then it'll beep and then you put it in and then you enter. Oh my boy. Oh boy. It's not the most intuitive setup. I'm not gonna lie. It's got a lot of buttons. It's not stupid just because you can't. Oh, there's a mountain in their deck post board now. Jeez. 26-month anniversary. Awesome. Thank you. Glad to have you here. They're down to 12. Maybe we can kill them with Mana Crypt. I don't know. I don't really have a good plan here. They have Tinker. That's kind of good for us. Oh, it's Time Walk. I don't want to Besage you this construct until I actually have to do that. You could try to make mine there. Yeah? Do the easy one. Just do the penne dish. Yeah. Is 17 restricted cards not a lot of vintage? I mean, my opponent's deck is probably a lot more, right? Maybe that's not a true statement. I would suspect my opponent's deck has quite a few more restricted cards than we do. These Breach Grixis decks are almost all restricted cards. There are very few cards in the deck that are not. I think I have to hold this Besage in case I get some kind of Tinker problemed or breached. But I will have to use it on this construct eventually. I would assume that my deck is playing below the average number of restricted cards for a blue deck. Because I'm not even playing like Merchant Scroll. I'm not playing Demonic. Well, I'm not a Demonic Tutor deck. All right. I kind of need. It's not a bad card to draw. I probably am gonna end up getting Pyroed though, and there's not much I can really do about it. Yeah, I got forced. All right, well, the good news is Besage is uncounterable. That's probably the only good news. All right, they're at 8. I need them to lose 3 more flips. I wonder if I should just take this hit here. Try to get one more turn. I guess I can't really win if they tinker, though. Is my mic picking up the kitchen at all? Shouldn't. It's usually pretty good about that. What do we got? Karn, the great creator. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Karn. What does this do for me? Like, it gets forced. All right, fair enough. All right, so my opponent's down to 2 cards. They have a mana crypt. They're at 7 life. They won the flip. I used my last Magic the Gathering card to slay the construct. Now I don't have any Oath outs. They get to look at their cards and then shuffle and then look at their cards. I still don't think we have very much chance here. I wonder if I am supposed to bring in these Vigors. I mean, they look pretty good. My opponent is a Saga deck. I don't really think the cards that we have is the problem. I think it's just the cards we drew compared to the cards they drew, right? I mean, we could draw an Oko. I mean, I think they'll probably have a Pyroblast for it, but Oko is a great draw for us. That'll increase the clock by a lot. The problem is any of their like restricted draws or even their unrestricted draws like Breach, Demonic are all just going to kill me immediately. Or Lightning Bolt. That's also technically one that will kill me immediately as well. Yeah, 25. All right, I mean, we can try to bring in these Veils. In doing so, we have to take some cards out. I guess we have to take out Repeals, right? It's kind of the only thing we can realistically take out here. That's just so many counter spells. Maybe on the play, we don't need as many Force. Maybe just having a Force of Vigor is nice. I don't really know. Mystical Dispute not countering Pyro is kind of gross. Do we want Channel on the play? Channel on the play does seem better. I'm like thinking we might want to board at down some Oaths though. Feels so hard to get an Oath to work here. I don't really know. The deck has some pretty divergent game plans. Trying really hard to figure out what we're supposed to be doing here. That's no good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is a hand. We're just gonna play our Oko, get it countered, and be very sad. All the peppers? Yeah, you can do peppers and bacon. Gotta keep. I know. I even ate some of the peppers. They gave me way too many peppers. I know. Maybe we gotta make that meal ourselves. They gave too many hot peppers. The chicken, it was great, but it was a lot of peppers. I would like more chicken and less peppers for sure. Okay. I wonder if we're still supposed to play this Oko, right? I still think this Oko looks good here. The problem is it's so okay, fair enough. I don't know. The problem is my opponent's not gonna have a creature very early here. Yo, thanks for tuning in. I guess unless they Tinker or Sphinx or something. I'm not convinced that 4 Swan Song, 4 Oko is enough to justify 0 Orchard. That's what I'm worried about. Okay, maybe they'll make a construct. I'm probably not going to play this Oath of Druids. I'd like them to make a construct. I kind of need them to make a construct. Will we win if they make a construct and Oath of Druids? I'm not even sure we will, but we're gonna try. If this deck doesn't beat Breach, though, like if it's really bad against Breach, then it's really hard to justify playing it too. It's kind of annoying how you just make these up both at end step and they don't trigger Breach. Yeah. Just a little bit, like a pinch. A couple of them. All right, so this at least lets us hit the Saga and force the issue. And then they only get one construct, which might be a little bit easier for us to beat. And then we have double Orchard, and we can even draw a blue card if we want. So I think we're actually in an okay spot. That is going to get them an island, though. I don't know. It might just be too little too late. We'll have to see what happens. Beast Within. Yeah, I mean, that technically makes a creature. Oko is basically Beast Within that pitches a force, though, and also wins the game by itself. I kind of like the Verdant commands, but they don't do a lot on the other modes, so that's the rough part about the Verdant commands. I wish they were a bit stronger besides that. All right, so it looks like if they have a cage in their 75, we don't have that many turns here. So I'd like to draw either a blue card or the Mana Crypt. Blue card will give me force backup. Mana Crypt will let me play 2 in 1 turn. Did draw the blue card. Have an Oath. They don't have Hardcast Force. They can't Pyro or Fluster. So this could work. It's possible. Why don't you do 5 and then just test it and see how it's... You have the power. 10 is usually probably... Usually? What is this? Red? Colorless. Abrade the Construct. Man, they kept Abrade in? So the problem here is if they have Fluster, we lose our Oko. We could let it resolve, untap an Oko, and Oko their Mana Crypt and make a creature that way. I don't think this is like a straightforward force. They didn't even draw for the Abrade. I mean, only if they don't like have a Pyro though, right? So there's like a bunch of other problems. I do think I'm going to force over it, but we obviously are opening ourselves up to Fluster here. They have Fluster on their top 3. Yeah. I wish we had a Veil, huh? Not much we could really... I mean, we could choose to let it resolve and then try to get the Oko through. So in this case, they can like end of turn, make a construct, and then maybe get a cage off of it. In which case, I only kept in 1 Vigor, 3 more Okos. I actually only have 2 more Okos remaining. I guess I do technically have the 4 Swan songs, but I don't have oh, they just tapped in. I guess they don't have a cage if they're just gonna tap the Saga and not make a construct. So okay, that's good news. The bad news is they can probably just breach kill us. That's a good draw. I think we just jam it. We can pay for Fluster. Can't beat a Pyro, obviously. Really worried about this Saga. I guess they already have top though, so it's just like getting Black Lotus and playing Breach combo or something like that. Oh, if they only have one brain freeze in their deck, that's true. Some are playing more than one brain freeze. They found something? Very nice. I could not have streamed if I... Wait, this doesn't counter. I couldn't stream if I tried yesterday. I had less than 1 megabyte upload. Did not work. Okay, so now I have... Okay, I'm gonna just hold on to this force for now. I'm probably going to force this top on the way back down. It seems really problematic for me to try to beat this top. Yeah, faulty network adapter. All right, so they don't have a cage in their 75. That's good for us. They have one. They just drew a top, so they have one unknown. They just drew their top for turn, and then they're probably just gonna get Black Lotus off of this Saga, and then we will force the top. It will hopefully buy us time, and then we have the top deck obviously, but okay. So the top has been forced. They're down to one unknown card that they had before. So we're back where we started. I kind of think our best draw might be Swan Song. Or Oko. Obviously, Oko is better. We did draw Veil. I think what I'll do is just put a second Oath in play. Well, I can't cast Karn, so that would be problematic for us. I'm obviously also representing... I still have Veil off of Astrolabe here. Though, if I play by playing Oath, I can't Veil into Swan Song, which is, I guess, a little annoying. Oh, Channel Karn. True. That's fair. I did forget that we have a... I just kind of thought this was a green card that had no text. Uh-oh. They have Vamp? Oh, it's so bad for me. This means they can just get Tinker and Tinker off this crypt. I'm going to respond with Veil and try to hit the one mental misstep. I can also hit Vigor and hit their Mana Crypt and upkeep as well. Oh, nope. All right. So my opponent can Tinker for a Citadel here. And that's really bad for us. Not much I can really do about it. I do think I was probably not supposed to play this Oath so that I could have hit Swan Song off of the Veil. I didn't really think about that. We do have two Besagers in our deck, and they hit Saga as the first card. They hit Breach as the first card. I can't imagine we can win from here, right? They have Black Lotus, Vampiric with a top out, or with a Citadel. They should take this. They have 7 life. Vampiric. Maybe they can't win from here unless they have a second Brain Freeze in their deck. So what can they vamp for here? They can vamp for... Oh, they have a second Brain Freeze in their deck. All right, yeah. I could have kept my Veil, and then I could have blocked this Brain Freeze. I didn't really think that we were going to get Breach comboed after my opponent. Man, what if I had a Gaia's Blessing, huh? Would that have been enough here? Damn. Oh, yeah, we do have an Emrakul. I mean, they just respond to the Emrakul with, I mean, we'll make them try it. I don't think it's going to be good enough. They have Ancestral, right? So they can just counter the Brain Freeze, re-Brain Freeze, and then Ancestral. So, but let's make them do it. This is good experience for them too if they have never had to do it and they have to learn. It's also good for chat. Yeah, if we hadn't cycled Veil, it would have been pretty reasonable here. I definitely didn't expect to get Breach killed, even though they had a Brain Freeze exiled. So I cycled Veil on my turn in an attempt to draw Mental Misstep to counter Vampiric Tutor, which I think is still a better play. They exiled the Surgical, so... But they have Pyroblast and Ancestral in their yard. Well, now they don't have enough cards in their yard. They need to target themselves here. They're making some slight mistakes. We'll see what happens. They need to get the rest of their cards into their exile so that they could respond to this Emrakul. We'll have to see if they can manage still. They should still be fine. They just hit themselves with a Brain Freeze once. Then they hit me with a Brain Freeze. Oh, they hit Emrakul at the end here. It's funny. All right, so let's see if they can figure it out. They have 27 cards left, which is 9 spells, maybe. Oh, no, opponent. Okay, here. Yeah. So this Brain Freeze is targeting them. They figured that out. They kept the Ancestral, so now all they need to do is find another counter spell for their own Brain Freeze. Yep, they have a Fluster. They did keep in Lightning Bolt, so they could also cast enough Lightning Bolts. They have, yeah, they have enough Lightning Bolts. Okay. So they kept in Lightning Bolt, which makes it really easy for them. Let's see if they make red mana first. Yeah, okay. All right. We got. Man, their last card being Vampiric off of the Black Lotus to fix the mana was pretty brutal. I do think I was supposed to hold Oath, so that I could maybe Veil into Swan Song, which I didn't hit, obviously, but it would have at least given us something. So even if we had Veiled on their turn, they still kept in Lightning Bolt, so they would have been able to mill themselves over and Lightning Bolt us out anyways. So yeah, I think we were pretty close there. I mean, we got rid of opponent's top deck, Sensei's top, and left them with one card. It just happened to be their last card was Restricted Tutor, and we could not beat Restricted Tutor. Unfortunate. All right, here we go. Round 4 of our KFC Oath League. This hand doesn't cast Magic the Gathering cards. Let's try again. Opponent is 3-0. I don't know what that means. Maybe Bazaar of Baghdad. Probably going to keep this one. Let's just do this. Well, maybe I'm supposed to keep 2. I hope these oaths are good, because if they're not good, we're dead. Oh god, are we getting Doomsdayed? Oh. Uh-oh. Oko? I did. I wonder what that means in terms of their deck. Making fun of me. All right, so my opponent has Oko, Narset, Black Lotus, Time Walk. Okay. Volcanic. So this could be Rug, this could be 4-color walkers, or this could be Oath. Okay. So 4-color walker. I guess it could still be all 3 of those things. Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of different formats and over my time in Magic. Used to play Grand Prix, so I definitely played a bunch of Standard and Modern. Haven't in a while, though. I'm not going to play Oath here because I need to convince my opponent to play a creature first because my deck doesn't do so hot without it. But if I can play Oath with Swan Song backup, that might even be better too. So, my opponent does have a Time Walk here though with double. I think I'm gonna let this happen. Kind of want to have a Swan Song to protect my Oath. I'm sure. I was just saying today how much I missed Lantern Modern. Lantern was the most fun I ever. Oh, you drew Strip Mine? I hate Magic. What's the point of playing 5 basics if they're just gonna hit Strip Mine every time? It's so ridiculous. I am still gonna try for the Oath of Druids here. I don't think this game is like over and done with, but it's gonna be tough. So the good news is that if I can resolve this and then Swan Song something, we theoretically could still win this game. Though that would probably involve us drawing a fetch land. Maybe. They're pretty close to Ren and 6 infinite time walks as well, so my opponent hitting the strip mine was really bad for me. I think we were doing okay until the strip mine was hit because we could have just fetched, basic forest, basic island, field of ruin, get another basic. Could have been fine. Yeah. Hopefully, I think we need to draw a fetch. Or yeah, I mean just a fetch. I think that's kind of the only card that we can actually. Oh, they're gonna time walk though, and then they're super close to Renaulting. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get out of this game, to be honest. I just don't know if we're gonna get the requisite number of turns to even try. They dashed a Ragavan instead of time walking. Huh. They hit my Hullbreaker Horror. So I wouldn't want to draw that anyways. So thank you, Ragavan, again for this outing. All right, I need to hit fetch land, and then I need them to cast Time Walking Swan Song it. That's my way. That's my way out of this game. Fetch land, Field of Ruin. I'm not gonna say that was a good draw because it wasn't. If I had some Moxen, then it would be fine. But Ren in 6 card's kind of good. Well, now they can Ragavan and Time Walk, and then Ren ult. So I don't really see our way out of this one. All right. I mean, if they're going to sequence like this, though, we have a chance. It's still a very small chance because we have to resolve a Swan Song, which I don't really think is going to happen, but are they going to still Ragavan? Okay. Arkham's Astrolabe. We couldn't cast that, so that works. Paying costs. What are we paying the costs of? All right, fetch land, please. All right. Well, it didn't happen. All right. So my opponent is on Rug Walkers. I kind of like the idea of Veil. And I will dislike the idea of... I don't really know how we cut cards in this deck. Repeals? Do we just cut repeals? Just cut some repeals. Sure. Why not? Which one? The big one? Oh, we'll get a new knife set for Christmas, so... Soon. Or I can cut with it. You can try one of the other big knives. I don't know if any of them are better, but... There's another big knife. It cuts. All right. What do we got? This hand looks kind of bad. I have like super hand-me-down everything, so we're gonna get new knives. It'll be nice. It's about time. I think this hand's bad. Maybe it's not. All right, we'll try it. The time walk is what's alluring me here. Time walk into Oko at least seems reasonable play. I'm not thrilled, but it at least looks playable. Moxon. Oh, we got a Ragavan? It's kind of annoying. They hit a Veil of Summer. Sure. Guess I would have liked the Veil of Summer. Nice. I'll definitely take an Astrolabe. Let's go get a basic island here and cast Time Walk. And then slam an Oko. Hopefully hit a Mox. Oh, we did hit a Mox. It's quite nice. I'm not sure the best way to sequence this. They shouldn't play any dazes. Negated. Okay. Oh, I guess the best way to sequence this would have been play an Astrolabe and then... okay, that was pretty bad. I didn't really want to play the... Yeah, we probably should have just played the Astrolabe and used all the mana. So I'm going to get hit by another stupid Ragavan. Because if I had done that, even if they had countered... Yeah, would have been better. They can't play any of my Astrolabes if they hit them, though. They hit Force. They're down to 3 cards. They have basically infinite mana. All right, let's do Astrolabe. Well, I don't know. The reason is because if I could have gone Mox Pearl stand up, but I guess I could stand up if I draw. That's not really... I don't really need to stand up and protect, so maybe it's fine. Pitch to Force. They pitched a Dak Fade into Force. All right, I think I'm going to stand up a Pearl here. So, unfortunately, the way we tap this way... Like, so if I had not gone Astrolabe first, I would have been able to just play Pearl and stand up Pearl. But then I wouldn't have had a blue card to pitch to Force, so... Maybe it doesn't matter. Is this a Pyro? No, they wouldn't. They would have played a Pyro. All right. Special Federation is quite good on this board, for sure. Draw your favorite 2 cards. Mox Emerald. Okay. That's not too bad. If that's one of the 2 cards they're going to choose, I think that means we ended up pretty happy. Wonder if they'll try to steal another card from us. Don't know exactly what we're going to do with this Field of Ruin. Maybe we need to use it. It's not like we really take them off of any kind of mana. Oh, they found a Pyro. Well, we're pretty far from this Hullbreaker Horror, right? Let's see if we can try to keep our Oko. Interesting. If they were going to do this, isn't it better to then go Ragavan attack and try to hit... I mean, they've already seen Veil. They could try to hit like another Veil or something. I'm just going to F6. So I assume this is Ragavan attack. Yeah, interesting. This is like the last thing they're probably going to get to steal, so... They stole a Jet. Okay. Well, we're currently ahead on board. They fetched all volcanics. The question is, do we want to block or do we want to just attack? I feel like all of our cards are so bad that we just want to attack. I don't know. That might be crazy, but I feel like just attacking is better. It's a 3-turn clock. What can they really realistically hit off Ragavan? Just Oko, right? I guess they can hit Ancestral. I would rather get my 2 attackers in before they draw another Pyroblast as well. Time Walk. I guess this is 2 attacks. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, I mean... But like, what are they going to do? Hit Oath of Druids? Oath into Deathray Shaman? Hit Swan Song. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if they had attacked last turn before playing their Pyro, they might have been able to hit, like, a Swan Song or something. They do have a million mana. Can they cast Emrakul yet? I mean, maybe we'll get tempoed out of this game by a monkey. Can't imagine that would be the case, but I guess it could happen. Hit Oath of Druids. You think they're going to play it? I can't imagine they would play an Oath of Druids here. Even if we are up 2 creatures to 0, they flip, we turn a creature over. Just looks kind of bad for them, right? Maybe not. Maybe this is actually an angle, an Oath angle. It could be an Oath angle. They're thinking about it. They are at 12. Like, this is still 2 attacks. They have to eventually put a blocker in play. They're thinking about the Oath angle. I mean, hitting Deathrite looks pretty good on this board at 8 life. So if I draw a Mox and I could steal Deathrite. Looks like they're going for it. Is opponent casting my Oath of Druids? Wow, they are. I'm in. You got it. I have this Swan Song as well. So what I can do is I could choose not to attack and stand up a Jet. Or do I want to attack, let them flip? Nah, I think the answer is stand up this Jet and go to blockers. And I have Swan Song Misstep, and eventually I can trigger my Oath and get an Emrakul. I think that's a better line than letting them flip a random card every turn. Also, they could just flip their whole deck off here. I don't know how many creatures they have in their deck. Guess we're going to find out together. All right, Oath of Druids, flip. They flipped a Jace Vern's Prodigy. Well, then. Okay. That's not good. I didn't expect that, but I guess I could always turn it into an elk, so it doesn't really matter too much. So we know they have an Oko. They probably just trim here. That makes sense. We'll also trim. Excuse you. So I think the answer here is just we turn the Jace into an elk. I think we're winning this long game, it looks like. And then we mental misstep the monkey. And use Oko to turn another thing into an elk. Ah, it's so annoying. All right, yeah, I guess you get to look at my hand. Now they know about the Swan song. I don't think so. Though they do have 3 Pyroblasts in the yard. Maybe we do. I just feel like there's like a lot of spells that are more important, but I could be wrong. Like, my opponent has to actively do something about this current board state, or they're going to lose. Oh, you know what they're gonna do is they're gonna ancient grudge their mocks. That's what they're gonna do. That'll buy them another turn. And if we Swan Song it, then they get 5 damage and they can bolt us out. We would probably wait. I think we just let the first ancient grudge happen because Swan Songing this and it Swan Song resolving. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to misstep your ancestral recall. Do they have like a? They have a misstep. So this is going to be 7 damage total. So they're just going to go for the lethal attack. The question will be, do I want... I think I just repeal this Mox now. I think we're going to end up losing this game by tempo play. Because they have... What's happening? Wow! I did not expect that. If I repeal the oath, I put myself dead on board. Wow. Yeah, I think I'm going to repeal their emerald. Yeah. All right, so we lose the oath. They Ragavan in. They hit me down to 3, and then I have Oko. I'm like just gonna lose a grinding game. Wow, I really didn't think about vigor. I shouldn't have swan songed, I guess. This is like kind of the thing where my opponent getting the Gataxian probe really hurt me. They just knew what my hand was and how to play around it. You know. That was really, really brutal. Gataxian probe letting them play perfectly around my hand. Maybe I just went too aggressive. It's possible. Like now I have to just... Seems real brutal from here. I have to just make a gain 3 life every turn. I feel like I could have played this game better though. Feels bad, man. I think I played badly. I don't know where I played badly, but I definitely feel like there was something I could have done better in this game. Maybe I wasn't supposed to go for the oath line. Maybe I was supposed to try to race. I mean, I thought I had a better chance of winning the game without giving my opponent 2 draws every turn. I explained it when I made the play. I said if we just stall this board and then we trigger oath and we win with Emrakul. I didn't really consider them killing the Oath of Druids. That was probably the biggest thing. It's possible we would have just won, but like they had an Oath of Druids, so they are flipping. I don't like every turn they're flipping into a blocker. So it's not like we're dealing 6 a turn, we're dealing 3 a turn. And that might be good enough. But we were also at a low life total, so at any point where we were like, you know, that they like decide they don't have to block, they can maybe swing back for lethal. Like there's a lot of things going on there. I don't think it's a super simple choice. The gut instinct I saw right away was that if we just stall the board, they're only going to get 1 card a turn because they're no longer going to hit with Ragavan, and we're just going to win with an Oath trigger eventually. I didn't really consider things like the Oath milling over an Ancient Grudge against our deck that has no real artifacts, or them keeping in Vigor. Like, I didn't really consider those things. Those things were not in my calculations. The Vigor makes sense if we're, you know, they were trying to play against an Oath deck. It makes sense to keep in Vigor. The Ancient Grudge, I'm not really sure I get or understand, but not, maybe. Man, I wish I could have drawn that Mana Crypt. That would be an Elk. No, because we take 2 damage in the air, so I guess it doesn't stabilize us. Yeah, I mean, it all went like really downhill. Obviously, my opponent had Ancestral with Misstep and Vigor. Like all of those cards were brutal against what our game plan was trying to do. I trade for the bird. Oh, you mean just swap, a mock swap? Yeah, a mock swap that still loses to Ragavan, doesn't it? Yeah, like I said, I think we lost the game the turn the Vigor happened. And we could have played, like I said, we could have played differently. We could have gone for a continual attack line, and maybe the continuing attack line actually would have won the game. I'm not 100% sure. Wow, they kept in Collector Oof too. Imagine if they, instead of hitting Jace Vern's Prodigy, they had hit Collector Oof, turned off all of their mana. The Jace Vern's Prodigy that I didn't like. I wasn't expecting to have to elk the creature that they oathed into either. That was also not something I expected. They could have also elked into another Ragavan. Elking into Jace Vern's Prodigy was the absolute worst thing that could have happened. Yeah, don't think, unless our opponent casts this oath for us, I don't think we have outs here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm playing towards at this point. I think I just lost it. It's too late now. We don't have Ancestral, right? I guess we could draw Ancestral, Time Walk, Oath, or something like that. It's always the Ancestral out. This technically makes a blocker, but I have to... Okay, so I make a blocker, and then I probe and Swan Song my probe. Or I just swap this and probe Swan Song my probe. All right, cast probe, target them, hold priority. Cast Swan Song, target probe. I doubt this resolves. But it's an attempt. There's no way this resolves, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. Hard cast force off of treasures. Yeah. Well, we tried. I guess I get to draw a card. Oh no, I guess I don't get to draw a card because I countered the right spell. Dang. It's brutal. Everything is brutal. Unfortunate. I think if we had drawn a Moxen immediately, the very first turn, we could have been fine with swapping for a token. But yeah, that was a rough game. Take the L. All right, here we go. 5th and final round with this Snow Oath deck. Yeah, I mean, this hand is fine. It's gonna cast it's gonna do an early field against a Bazaar deck. It's got early counter magic versus a deck that plays 1-drops. It has a repeal. It has technically has an Oko on turn 3. So I actually kind of like this hand. These Field of Ruins have looked pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I really like them. They've added a nice. I don't know how to explain it. It's an interesting dimension to a deck. It doesn't really exist anywhere besides this deck list, so we haven't like gotten full value from our basics. We like got strip mine that one time against the Ran 6 Wasteland lock. So once upon a time basically means Bazaar, so it's good that we have Field of Ruin on turn 2. The question will be what kind of Bazaar? Dredge, Hogaak, Squee, a different kind of Hogaak deck than stock. Lots of actual choices here. We'll basically mental misstep most things, and then look to Field of Ruin their Bazaar. Also, of course, have repeal like a Deathray Shaman to buy a turn as well. It's a little awkward if they don't like play Bazaar turn 1, because then we can't Field of Ruin turn 2 and play Oko turn 3. So they found a Basking Root Walla. We also like have to respect the fact that we might just get murdered by, triple vine, double, or not triple vine, but like double vine Root Walla Hollow one, and we just can't do anything about that. So it is Hogaak. What is your line? Do you have... I would assume they don't have a Bazaar, considering how long they tanked on the Once Upon a Time. Yeah. Are they going to just hard cast a Vengevine? Ooh, hello. Survival. That's got to be really bad for me. So maybe they're playing my recent survival brew. Check that video out if you haven't already seen that video. It was really a lot of fun. The first match versus Grim is just very, very good. All right, so my opponent has survival off of Taiga Spirit Guide. They have a Root Walla with triple green, so they could go pitch Root Walla, get Vine, pitch Vine, get Vine, pitch Vine, get Hollow One. And I mean, we're just dead to that, right? Maybe I want to return this Walla to hand. That's gotta be worse for me, right? Yeah, I think we're just gonna die to this unless we draw Oath off the top, and even then we don't have enough mana, so looks pretty bad here because they just get. Wait, they got a second Ralla? That's not right. I think the first Walla is supposed to get Vine. The second one is Vine, pitch Vine, get Vine, and then it's Vine, get Hollow One, and then you have Hollow One, double Vine on turn 1. They might have made a mistake here. Now they probably have to go Vine. Oh, I guess they still get to do whatever they want. They got anger? What? Oh, they're gonna go anger hollow one and have. Okay, I guess that's fine. This definitely looks worse than. Oh, they have another hollow one in their hand. This definitely still feels worse than. Well, I guess it's exactly the same. The answer is we needed force of will for survival of the fittest. That's the answer. That was bad. They didn't even use a bazaar in that game. I am still gonna bring in Leyline, and I think I want Needle, but then kind of think Karn. I guess Narset is fine on the play. I kind of hate Channel. I don't really want Swan Song. I guess we could take some Vigors here. Something like this. They're not a huge graveyard deck. They are a graveyard deck. Maybe we should be bringing in like this one. It's not unreasonable. I don't really like negation. It just counters 1/4 of. So maybe we do. I don't really want a Torment script though. I think I'd rather have another Vigor. I guess Swan Song does technically counter survival, but that doesn't really feel like the right avenue to attack. I think we'll go with this. We have a lot of answers into our deck. That was just like a really brutal. Man, this hand stinks. If this hand had a fetch land, it would be great. But I don't think you're allowed to keep this hand. I really haven't liked the dig through time in this deck so far. It hasn't looked good. This hand's not great either. I guess maybe I mean, I have a force. I have I guess I don't have a mox, so this doesn't technically answer a bazaar. Maybe this hand's actually bad too. Hmm. Bazaar, Vine, Hollow One, Lumberjack, Taiga. Yeah, I mean, this looks quite bad for me. I'm so far away from Field of Ruin because I didn't draw Mox in this game. But we will technically be able to answer a Hollow One twice. If they hit a Rootwalla or a Hollow One, we're in some deep trouble. Maybe I have to mulligan this hand. It's kind of weird. The back half of this league has gone so poorly for me. But I feel like I've been making pretty reasonable mistakes, so. Hmm. So they have anger. They have anger. Okay. Anger, Vine, Hollow One. They still have Taiga, Lumberjack, one unknown in hand, so it would have to be second Hollow One to trigger Vengevine this turn. Sure. Didn't think so. So my best draw is Moxen, so that I can Field of Ruin. Or that. That's my best draw. Yeah, that one is also my best draw. Maybe I was supposed to force this Hollow One, actually, looking back. Thought I could get away with not, but I don't know how I win if I don't, if they have like a second one. So I probably had to force this Hollow One. But now I'm probably in a great spot, seeing as I'm going to hit something that blocks and then should be winning from there. I probably should have forced that hollow one, looking back. What else am I gonna force, really? Like, it's impossible for them to have vigor, so there's no real even threat on my own oath. And if anything, it just, well, if I had forced the hollow one, I guess my oath wouldn't have triggered, huh? So there's that. But the oath wasn't in hand, so it's a little hard to think about that. Man, it's kind of tough. I am regretting keeping the hand, though. I think we got bailed out by a top deck oath. Though we did draw 2 cards, right? We had draw for turn and probe. But still, feels like a bailout. Okay, so here comes a Root Walla. Everything has haste. Yavimaya. Wow, okay. So we'll just force this thing. Take 9. Go to... Wait, I die. I lose this game, right? No, I don't lose this game. I thought... This blocks, so we're fine. I probably have to hit this so they don't pump, though. We could lose this game, theoretically. We block, we take 5. Yeah, it would have actually been... No, it would have taken 7. Okay. So if they... Well, they have a hasty lumberjack. Oh, they don't have a hasty lumberjack because they don't have a way to cast it. They have an anger in their yard. So I guess if they hit another hollow one, we die. If they activate this and hit hollow one... No, they don't have a mountain, so they don't have haste. So we're fine. So we get a new oath activation, get a hull breaker, attack. Yeah, that should be fine. Unless our hull breaker is our exact last card, in which case we would lose. Interesting. I guess a Gaia's Cradle only puts me to 1, right? This is a cool... looks like it's the survival deck that I streamed the other day, or at least similar. Okay, we got there. I think I got bailed out for a bad keep and then a bad no force. Just got basically paid off. Let's try again. I really am I don't know about these oath targets. At the very least, I very much missed 2 Sarah's emissaries in the board, and I don't feel like we had... I feel like we had open board slots. Like, we didn't have to play 2 Dispute, 2 Veil. We could have played 2 Sarah's emissary. I mean, I'm the one who put the disputes in the deck, to be fair. And I'm just, like, not a huge fan of Veil, so it's more of my own taste. It's not really the deck builder's fault, unless you count me as the deck builder, which I would not. What? No, Oko is super good with Oath. You're not thinking deep enough. Think about it a little more and then come back to me. Oko is actually what is one of the cards keeping Oath on the map. They interact in a very favorable way. So when your opponent plays a Mox and you turn it into an Elk, that triggers the Oath of Druids. Now you're thinking with Vintage. This hand is not great. It really needs a Moxen, but I think with an Oath and lands and a ley line, I might be able to buy enough time. I'm not sure. We could easily die to just an above ground hand here. They did hit a Beseiju, and it looks like they're gonna go for a slow play, which is probably a good thing for us. So they're gonna go to like 2 mana, play to Beseiju, or play Beseiju my ley line. Give us a land. Probably ends up being good for us in the long run, especially with our own Beseiju. I'm just going to pass. I don't think I want to play the Oath into like possible Vigor. I know they have Beseiju, but if I were to play Oath and get Vigored here, it does look pretty much unwinnable from our situation. Whereas if they just Beseiju me, I think it's okay. It also lets us hold up Beseiju for like a survival or wow, really? Hard cast once upon a time. Does that mean they also have Vigor? Possible. Yo, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Hex Drinker. Definitely gonna let a Hex Drinker resolve with an Oath in my hand. So they have the Bazaar. I think I'm going to just use my mana efficiently here and hit the Bazaar with the Beseiju. It does mean they'll probably respond by Besiejuing my ley line, but that gives me enough mana. Probably worthwhile. No, maybe, but I don't know. Like it looks a lot better right now. I guess Field of Ruin did still also hold up in Beseiju. No, I think using my mana here is more efficient, right? So they Beseiju me, and then that's fine. Did I hit yes? Oh god. Let me just get this tropical. And then I kind of want them to like put a Basking Root Wall or something into play, right? With my Oath of Druids. Maybe that's optimistic. But like if they don't, then we just resolve a Narset. I don't know. I guess there wasn't much downside to playing the Field of Ruin though. So maybe it's the same. Go. Don't look. Okay. Okay. Should I not stream Second League? I don't need to. I could always stream on Sunday too if I needed to. Okay. Maybe I'm just supposed to play. Force Time Walk Brainstorm. Time Walk is probably the best. That's going to give us an immediate Oath trigger if my opponent plays a creature, which they're going to play a creature. They have to play a creature. We have an active Narset. The nice part about this Narset is a second Bazaar of Baghdad is turned off, which is super nice. I like our position in this game. That's going to resolve, friend. You got it. The only thing that'll really save him is Vigor on the Oath. Okay, they just play 2 creatures, get a Vengevine, not bad. Wonder if they're gonna kill Narset. If they kill Narset, it's a pretty Yeah, they killed Narset. Wonder if that means they have a Vigor. Vigor is the one card here I'm scared of. I think we still go for it, of course. Even if they have a Vigor, we still have Oko repeal, so. All right. So let's see what this gives us. An Emrakul. It's a good card. And a Needle. So just Needle. I don't know. Just Oko. I could double Field of Ruin, actually. We used a Time Walk. It was fine. I guess they could theoretically have a forest in their board. It's probably better to just play an Oko, make a food, and needle something. Yeah. All right, they're off it. Okay. That was pretty cool league. We actually ended up going 3-2 money back. So I'm not unhappy. I think I screwed up the sideboard here. I think these like disputes are just no bueno. And then this veils are kind of redundant. I would like to play I would like to play like Vigor and Claim and I don't know. Something. I'm not exactly sure. Sarah's Emissary. That's what I wanted. I remember now. Sarah. So yeah, I would like to play probably just like 2 Sarah and then 2 Claim. I like this better. And then you dedicate your whole board to Saga, to shops and to Bazaar, and you just admit your main board is for blue decks, and then you could still theoretically board in Nature's Claim or Vigor against Saga decks. That's still totally acceptable, but you have a lot of answers. You have Beseju, you have 4 repeal, so I think you have options. I actually was pretty impressed with the Field of Ruins, but only when we drew Moxen. If we didn't draw Moxen, the Field of Ruins were a little awkward, but when we drew Moxes, the Field of Ruins were quite good. The Astrolabes were reasonable. Repeal was reasonable. Swan Song was not great for us. We got to win with Channel once, but not with Channel Emrakul or Channel Karn, just with Channel Hullbreaker Horror, which was pretty cool. And overall, this Dig Through Time looks very uncastable. I would cut this Dig Through Time for something better. I don't like this Dig Through Time. But the tutor targets are fine. I just think that like they're probably a little underwhelming. They're definitely not the best ones, but I do think you need to play the Emrakul if you're going to play the channel. But if you cut the channel and you cut the Emrakul, you probably cut, I don't know if you cut the Karn at that point. You could rearrange it and play different tutor targets if you'd like. I definitely want to have 2 Sarah Emissary in the board, though. I really like, and actually, you know what this deck is really missing? Tinker. This deck should play Tinker. Maybe not in the main, but post board, you can just go like Tinker and Sphinx. And then you have a really solid plan against Bazaar post board. Maybe you don't need Sarah's Emissaries at that point. Or you could just play them both. And then you could do that. And then this is all graveyard hate. The whole deck. I don't know if that might be overkill. I'm not 100% sure on where you want to land on that, but you could do something like that. So you could even play. I don't think you want to play Tinker Citadel because this deck is not very good at Citadeling with Swan Songs as a 4 of, and like Oath and Repeal. There's a lot of bad hits. I'm not really sure you want to go Citadel, but there's a lot of choices. Shout out to KFC for always having fun and interesting takes on Oath. Field of Ruin was definitely the standout for him tonight. If you want to see more vintage videos, Monday, Wednesday, Friday on my YouTube channel, 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you then.